Hey, good morning. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having an amazing week so far. Halfway through the week, that means it is time for another trading. So today we are going to talk about cost reducing techniques that you can use as a business owner to increase the profitability of your business. So let's jump straight in. My name is Kerry Postal. I am the owner of Abacus Business Solutions, and we help our clients to know, understand, and trust their numbers. 3 critical aspects for the success of your business. So if you are watching this training live, then give me a live comment in the box. And if you're watching the replay, then give me a replay comment as well. Okay, so let's jump straight in. So there are 3 different techniques that we're going to talk about today. 1 is analyzing expenses, 2, looking at different cost reduction strategies, and 3, ways to prioritize those efforts as well. So we want to go from being wasteful, and we want to be able to increase our profitability. So if you have an understanding of what your break-even point is, then that should be something that you have looked at, analyzed, figured out what that number is and where your costs have to be. If that's something that you haven't done, then I highly recommend that you look that up and you figure out what that is. And if you're not sure how to do that, then you reach out to someone who you're working with that's taking care of your numbers, or you can reach out to us as well. But it's really important that you know what that number is to be able to make sure that you are profitable in your business. Like I always say, after 10 years in business, I have not met one business owner that wants to make a loss. Everybody wants to be profitable. After all, that is why you started your business. Okay, so profitability is obviously directly tied to having an effective cost management strategy. If you're just plucking numbers out of the air, thinking like, oh, I'm going to sell it for this much, without really knowing what your cost is, then you're setting yourself up for failure. You have to know your numbers. You have to know exactly where you're sitting at. So let's keep going on and let's go through those 3 key steps. So the first one is to analyze your expenses. You got to take a deep dive into those numbers. And I know that's something that a lot of business owners don't like to do. They get a P&L at the end of the month, they get their balance sheet, they take a quick look, scan the number eyes to the bottom, look for that profit number, and then put it to one side. But you really need to take a deep dive into what those numbers are telling you. Where is your money going to? What are your costs? What are your expenses? You need to really determine what those are telling you, those reports are telling you, so that you can cut the costs, but you're not going to sacrifice the quality. So that's the one thing you've got to get that balance of, is keeping your costs down, but don't reduce the quality in that aspect as well, because then you're going to start to lose customers, which then in turn lose revenue, and that's not the object of what we're doing today. So you need to be looking for areas where you can reduce costs. So you've got to make sure you know your numbers. You're looking through every single line item under that revenue number. So between that revenue number at the top and your net profit at the bottom, you need to know what all of those numbers are telling you. You need to know exactly where every single dollar in your business is going to. You want to make sure that your gross profit, if you're construction, you've got your materials and subcontractors, you've got to make sure you have a good gross profit there, so that you can then cover the rest of your overhead expenses and still be profitable at the end of the day as well. If you're a service-based industry, then maybe you don't have any cost of goods sold because you're offering a service. So you need to make sure your revenue is then covering all of those overhead expenses as well. So don't just be looking at that number, quick glance through at the end of the month, putting the report to one side and not looking at it again, or not using that information to help you make those informed financial decisions. It's really important that you use that information. That's what it's there for. That's why you pay to have those numbers put together. It's not just for taxes. Taxes at the end of the year, critically important. Yes, you have to do them. But that information is there for you to use every single month of the year to help you make the best decision you can to help your business be the most profitable that it can as well. So make sure you're using that information. Don't just scan through it, put it to one side. You need to dig deep. You need to understand what every single line item is telling you. So you want to make sure that when you're looking at those numbers, you're analyzing each line. Again, don't just be kind of looking through, okay, advertising was this, labor was this. Look at, when you're looking at that advertising number, you want to open up that, that double click on that number in QuickBooks. See what is that expense made up of? Where are you spending your advertising dollars? What's your return on investment of those dollars? Is it working? Are you maybe doing billboards? Are you getting new customers from those billboard advertising? Are you tracking all of that? That's the kind of analysis you need to be doing. You can't just be spending money on advertising and not knowing what your return is on that. Because if something's not working, then quit doing it and try something else. Don't think you're going to get different results by keep doing the same thing. You have to analyze every single aspect of that. So another step 2 is looking at ways to implement cost reduction strategies. So one of those ways might be to negotiate with your suppliers. What is it that you can do there to help get a discount on the product that you're buying from them? But remember, though, when you start asking for cost reduction, things like that, people are going to want to see backup. They're going to want to see data. Why is it that you think you deserve a discount? Maybe it's because of the volume that you purchase from them. Maybe you can show that, hey, this is how much we buy from you every single month. This is how we're paying you in time every single month. See if you can negotiate better prices or better terms, something that is going to help you to be able to then increase your profitability. One thing I will say, though, is to be careful on how much you try to negotiate terms if you're going past 30 days. I have been working with a client who has 90 days payment terms with with his biggest supplier, his main supplier, where pretty much 98% of his purchases are from. So he thought this was a really great thing, having 90 days. But his customers are paying him 30 days. So then you've got this 60-day lag time. And so rather than that money then going towards paying for those materials from the supply, it's being spent on other things, or it's being drawn out of the company as an owner draw. And so as you can imagine now, unfortunately, this client has owes way more in accounts payable than is due in on accounts receivable because of this lag time. So 90 days payment terms isn't always a good thing. And he's now been told that if he can get his payment terms down to 45 days, they'll give him a better price. But he has somehow got to find $400,000 to be able to get himself to that point of being on 45-day payment terms. So just be careful. Don't think, oh, great, 90 days. If you're going to do 90 days, then you have to have another strategy in place to make sure that as that money is coming in from your customers, you're putting it to one side, ready to pay for those materials, and it's not going towards other things. And then you end up in this vicious cycle and getting more and more behind. So better terms, maybe you're at 15, and you want to go to 30. Something like that is okay, but just be very careful going too far past 30 to 45 days because it can get you in trouble as well. But if you're able to negotiate better rates, better prices because of the volume that you're paying and that you do pay on time, then that's a great way to, to go into that conversation. Maybe, there's other ways that you can save money, with your utilities. Maybe there's some, energy efficient solutions that you can implement as well. Maybe you've got some old equipment that is, just sucking up energy, and that, it can be updated with newer, more efficient models. If you have a big warehouse, maybe there's, energy efficient lighting, maybe there's just renewable sources. Just be very conscious of different ways that you can save money. Sometimes you have to think outside of the box as well. It's not necessarily all in those direct customer costs, but it can be your overhead costs as well. Think outside of the box, think differently. Think, what are ways that we can make a difference to, set up. But again, making sure you're going to get that return on that investment. So another idea is to outsource non-core activities to save on labor expenses. So maybe you're a marketing firm, and that sometimes it's more effective to outsource certain tasks to another marketing agency. Maybe in construction, and you're trying to do the bookkeeping and accounting yourself right now because you're trying to save on that. Maybe that is something that you can outsource, so that way you're getting accurate data on time, it's up to date, and you know that you can rely on it to help you make those informed financial decisions. So think about that as well. It's like, what can be outsourced? There's lots of different areas that you can outsource of your business. Some make sense, some do not. So you have to analyze that as well. Accounting and bookkeeping is a great one to outsource, initially. And I'm not just saying that because that's what we do. It really is an area that so many business owners struggle in because they're trying to do it themselves. Their cousins doing it, family members doing it, and it's not done on time. It's not done correctly because they think that, 2 + 2 is 4. I can do QuickBooks, I can do bookkeeping. But when you start getting into construction in particular, when you've got job costing and you've got fixed assets, you've got depreciation, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you need to be aware of. And particularly if you have loans as well, you've got to break down the principal and interest. You've got to have the liability set up. There's a whole area of tasks that have to be done in a particular way, so you've got accurate numbers. So that is definitely investment that is worth making, because you're going to get that return on the investment by the information that you're going to get that's going to help you to be able to grow your business. Okay, and then step 3 is prioritize your efforts, in what area you decide to start doing a cost reducing strategy. Don't just try and do them all at one time. Think about what's going to have the biggest impact on my business now. What makes sense for me to try and start doing it right now? So focus on those areas that's going to have that biggest impact on your profitability. So for example, if maybe labor costs are your largest expense, then what are the ways that you can reduce those labor costs? Do you have the right people doing the right job? Are they skilled for that job, or are they taking a whole bunch of extra time because it's really not their strong point? Are they on the right seat on the bus? Do they need to be in another area? Are they trying to do something that really isn't in their wheelhouse? Just make sure you have people doing the thing they're supposed to be doing and what they're trained in, what they're good at. Don't try and just fit somebody into a seat because they need a job when really it isn't ending up being cost effective for you. Maybe looking at the prices with your suppliers. Maybe that's an area where you think you could get the biggest impact initially. So start with that area. Don't just jump in at every single one. Sit down, analyze, think through, talk through, if you have business partners or other people on your team, and decide which is the area that you need to focus on first. If you just start jumping into every one, you're not going to get a lot of return on any of them. You're just going to get frustrated and it's not going to happen. So prioritize it. Make a list. First thing we're going to focus on is this, right? When this task is done, we're then going to start looking at this. And then after this, we're going to do this. That way, you're also going to be able to more easily track the impact that it's having on your business as well, rather than just trying to do everything all at one time. Okay, so what was your big takeaway today? What is it that you think you can implement today that can have an impact on the profitability in your business? Effective cost management isn't difficult, but it's absolutely critical to be able to achieve that profitability as a business owner. You have to just do it. It's not going to happen by itself. So by analyzing your expenses, identifying those cost reduction opportunities, and really prioritizing those efforts as to which one you need to focus on will help you to reduce costs, but still maintaining the quality of your product or your service as well. So keep that in your back of your mind as well. But when reducing costs, it's not about allowing the quality to reduce as well. You have to keep that where it is so that you're not going to start losing revenue. So many business owners leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table because they just don't know where to start with this. It's overwhelming. It's confusing. They just don't have time most of the time because they are busy running their business. They're busy doing what they do best because that's why they started the business that they're in. So if you need support in this area, if you need assistance in figuring out what to do first, then comment below next steps so that we can reach out to you. We can set up a time to jump on a Zoom call and talk through what it is you have going on your business, how we can help you, and how we can increase that profitability as well. And don't try and just either do it by yourself or give it to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, or brush it under the carpet and just think you'll do it later. Jump on it now because you want to increase your profitability as soon as possible. There's nothing worse than doing something 6 months down the road, realizing, oh, I could have saved thousands of dollars if I had just done this when I was going to. Procrastination will always get you behind. Also, don't forget, if you have a business owner or another friend that is in business and they would benefit from this training, please go ahead and share this with them and invite them to follow us on social media so that we can help them as well. We're all about helping business owners to increase their profitability. You know that we're huge Profit First fans. We believe that is a game changer in your business. And so the cost reduction is part of that as well. Okay, I hope that was helpful. We'll see you next time.